The extent of surveillance on hundreds of millions of people, dubbed breathtaking by civil rights groups and outraged Americans. More revelations on what exactly U.S. officials have been popping into the light. America's National Security Agency has been using three of the biggest U.S. telecom companies, Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint, to monitor all phone calls made by subscribers. Now, combined, keep in mind, these three companies have a staggering almost 300 million customers. And the spying is reportedly done regardless of whether or not there's reason to suspect subscribers of any criminal activity. And this is, of course, shocking. This includes all of the phone calls being made within the United States, as well as between the U.S. and foreign countries, making really the scope of this tracking system even wider than American territory. And of course, this all comes at a time after the Obama administration acknowledged the existence of an NSA and FBI program dubbed PRISM. In a nutshell, this program, what it entails is 9 major internet companies that include Google, Facebook, Yahoo, Microsoft, Skype, YouTube, Apple, AOL, and Paltalk have been used by U.S. officials to monitor photos, videos, emails, and audio, and all other sorts of information, tracking a really sweeping scope of individuals' online activity. And the NSA is, of course, traditionally understood to gather foreign intelligence, so the tracking of hundreds of millions of Americans' online accounts on U.S. territory through American companies is certainly a huge revelation, to put it mildly. But because of the popularity of these web companies, such as Google and Facebook, for instance, it's absolutely obvious that communication spied upon does not just include Americans. And overall, just staggering, all-consuming monitoring of personal data that is a major eye-opening example of what Obama's administration has been up to. We have heard comments from Europe, namely Germany, for example, about the need to clarify the scope of this U.S. program. Questions are also being asked about the extent of the knowledge of the British government in terms of what kind of knowledge it had on this surveillance activity and how it might have cooperated and dealt with the U.S. on this as well. And it's important to note that online freedom fighting group Anonymous has leaked a total of 13 documents. Curiously, one of them, the U.S. Department of Defense so-called strategic vision for controlling the internet, and on an intelligence sharing network which shares data with partners around the world. And Obama's comments on this major scandal have also been pretty curious. Basically, the U.S. president, in a nutshell, says that absolute security cannot walk hand in hand with privacy and lack of inconvenience. And, putting aside the claim of, quote, absolute security in the U.S., certainly something that has reason to be widely questioned, this seems to be a statement completely opposing a belief voiced by founding father Benjamin Franklin, that those willing to give up liberty for some safety don't deserve either one. But apparently the roots of the American history that the country prides itself in now irrelevant, as Obama's administration tries to wash off the amount of dirt released under a leader who swore by transparency, as well as presented U.S. practices of democracy to the rest of the world as absolutely stellar.
Well, this is not the first time the National Security Agency has come under fire for methods infringing people's rights. We spoke to William Beanie, who worked for the agency for 30 years and helped expose some of its practices. He told us that the sweeping nature of the program can, in fact, make ensuring security more difficult.
It's a direct violation of the Constitution. It always has been. That's why I left NSA in 2001. They started to do this. In fact, it